happens when Ali gets here. So thank you. Welcome for coming in here. I know it was crazy to try and plan one of these in between Christmas and New Year's and everything, but we do welcome and thank everybody who does decide to pop in today that's not still out celebrating with family and friends and that sort of thing. So today we've got some fun stuff. It's really just one of those days where we're just going to look over all the stuff that we've noticed over the past year, 2015, marketing stuff that we've seen happen around the world, stuff that worked really, really well, and some stuff that didn't work so great. I'm going to start off. We're going to open it up with the hits, the stuff that did what I think is really good. When Ali gets here from Rapid Boost Marketing, then we'll also get his insights, what he thinks worked really, really well and what didn't work so hot. So, and then we're going to close it up with some fails, because it's always best to end with humor. And there was some hilarious stuff that happened last year all over the place. We could probably do at least 4 shows on what not to do based on the stuff that I found that didn't exactly work this last year. So anyway, I'm just going to quickly pop and see where Ali might be. I need him to call in. Let's see here. So just give me 1 second and I'll see if I can figure out why he isn't here right just yet. That isn't it. This is my third blab. So unfortunately, this stuff seems to keep changing every single time I come on here. So if you just give me 1 quick second and I will try and figure out why I don't see him trying to call in yet. So just 2 people. Okay. Let me see here. I know I didn't have any problems with this last time, so 1 quick second. Oh, there you are. I just tweeted you. I'm so sorry. Yes, I want to make this person a co-host. Why is it doing that? Okay, are you there? It's telling me that it made you a co-host, and then it says it's made you a not co-host. There we go. Yay. Okay, so thank you for sticking with me through that awkward moment. Okay, Ali, please come.
Hey, sure.
Yay. No, I'm frozen. Oh, perfect. Yay, there you are. Fantastic. Okay, I was like tweeting you, like, where are you? It's so awkward. I'm all alone by myself.
I gave you all the floor, so you were like, you know what, you can say what you want.
Oh, I see. You're doing me a favor, were you? Okay, well, now that Ali is here, I will give him just a moment to explain to you guys who he is, where he comes from, and what his company is. And then I was just explaining to everybody, I'm going to start it off with the stuff that we And you guys keep in mind that Ali and I have no idea what each other is going to talk about today, where it's a complete surprise. So hopefully we haven't picked some of the same marketing campaigns or tactics or that we've seen in 2015. But we're going to talk about the good stuff first. And then, like I said, we're going to end it off with the stuff that kind of really sucked over 2015 because it's the real funny stuff. So go ahead, Ali. Let everybody know
All
who you
right.
are.
So, my name is Ali, and I'm from Rapid Boost Marketing. We do online marketing and online lead generation for small and medium-sized businesses. Predominantly, our footprint is in Western Canada and predominantly Alberta. So yeah, that's what I do. My personal role in the company is I'm a senior strategist. I'm the guy who draws like those big drawings on the board, right? Those complex models. And that's what I love doing.
Let's face it, you're just bored.
Exactly, eh? Like, it is. If you look at it as an outsider, it looks pretty geeky and looks like, I have nothing better to do. You're right. Yeah.
We got to look busy, right? We got to keep the troops motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's me. And like, what I genuinely actually love is if you are having like any sort of marketing and business development challenges and online lead generation challenges. That's what I love talking about, right? And then that's the idea today, that like talking with Shannon today, that like what worked, what didn't work this year, and so when we go into the new year, we are doing the right things, and we have pretty much learned from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keeping in mind that everything that I'm presenting in the Blab, all the co-hosts that I'm having come on, and that my whole focus right now with my company is planning. There's that strategic planning that you have to go through. There's the creative planning. Pardon? Am I breaking up? Uh-oh. There's that strategic planning, the creative planning, and then the actual implementation. The thing is, we have to keep in mind too is that we're always planning, because there's always new technology, there's always new platforms coming out, there's new CRMs, software, everything. But if we have our basic plan down, we have our goals, we know who we are and what we want to do as a company and who we need to engage to accomplish that, then that short-term planning becomes much easier. So that's what this whole series, as a matter of fact, even going into March, April next year, will be focused on planning, because I really, this is the thing that I've seen our clients struggle with the most. They have a great idea for a company. They have all the ambition, all the motivation, all the energy, but they don't have a plan, and they can't figure out why they're not getting anywhere. So this is unfortunately the most essential part of even a creative services company is planning. So that is where we're at. I know. I just, like I said, I can't stress enough. Please do not, when you find out somebody is a web developer or a graphic design artist, please do not walk up to them and say, oh, it must be so nice to be able to do what you love all day and just sit down and be creative all the time, because that is so far from the truth. And they will smile, they'll be polite, but it's so not the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay, Ali, I'm going to let you open it up. So what did you see? What was one of your top things that you saw last year that you thought was amazing in marketing?
Okay, so basically, like, like 2015 was pretty interesting, because now it's the war of like people's time and attention. We are fighting it. Big brands are fighting it. So your time and attention is the thing out that everyone is trying to chase. Now, things like, personally, what I saw that like, we are going towards more and more instant gratification. I mean, we are doing a live chat right now. We're trying to engage with people live. So because people like to be instantly gratified, they like to churn out so much good content, they would like to view that. So that's where Snapchat comes in, and they're doing amazing there. Now they have like channels that they can monetize it. So like a Periscope came in, Blab, Meerkat. So there's like all these products came out in 2015, and a lot of them were focusing on that human to human connection which you can build. So brand, people behind the brand are building connections with actually people out there, and they are all real-time connection, real-time interaction. So so this is what like at a bigger level happened in marketing. For small businesses, what I personally saw that like they still uh, struggle with online lead generation. They're still trying to understand that like, okay, how to make this all thing work, right? Like, it's this
Mhm.
big snowball, and it's kind of out of their control, and they just cannot like
And how to solve it.
get their hands around it. So and the interesting thing is that there are so many things. So for example, right now there's a Facebook, Twitter, Blab, like there's like they can do 25 or 30 different things what they should be doing, right? Which tools they should be using. So I think for a small business perspective, what we saw that like there was the confusion level went up, because people just don't know what to exactly do. At the bigger level, what we're seeing, the brands are actually engaging directly with with the potential people, and that's why we have this
Mhm.
Snapchat. That's why we have this. It's a war of attention, which I call it, right? Okay,
Yes.
and every brand is trying to win that war, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and we're to the point of immediate gratification, so much to the point that unless it's a live stream, something like this, we want our information within that first 3 to 5 seconds, or we're done. Which is another reason that Snapchat is an amazing app to use. Now, I have to admit, I myself am not on Snapchat yet. I keep getting bugged about that, but I keep going. I'm on so much social media, and it takes up so much of my day already. Like, I definitely need an intern if I'm going to add another social media stream. But I know a lot of people who are using it in business, and we've actually set up a couple of clients with it, and it works really, really well. So it engages that newer consumer,
I think we have
and
lost
it gives them
Shannon there.
exactly what they're looking for. Oh no, am I back?
No, it's working on audio only right now.
Oh really? Oh, my camera is on.
It's okay.
Oh, do I want to go out and try it
This
again, or should we
happens
just
like
keep going and see what happens?
with the
Oh,
internet speed,
Walter's
especially like it has to be uh, pretty good on every end to make it
yeah,
work really well. But hey, you know what?
yeah,
Like I think like what Shannon was trying to get down to, and I will. Well, so Walter is saying that he can see you.
yeah. He's saying it must just be you. Must be just that you're bored and you click something again. Oh no! Now Ali's gone. Come on in, Ali. I don't want him to miss my next point. I knew Ali was going to go completely with the online stuff, so I have taken a different direction in the things that I have found. That I think worked really, really good, just engagement wise. So hopefully he comes back in soon. Where are you? Okay, here he comes. Okay,
I don't know.
so
All right.
I went with some stuff that, okay. So I just went with some stuff that I was just telling everybody I knew you were going to go with the online stuff because, of course, we both do that, but it's just such a thing that you're so passionate about. So I knew you were going to go almost exclusively online. So I went in a different direction because I didn't want to bore everybody with just social media
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So I went my very first thing that I saw that happened last year, and the reason that I picked this one is because I saw it happen in my own household. I have a 20-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old daughter, so I've got that millennial thing going on in my home. And and yeah, I have firsthand experience. It's a joy. Anyway, but Coke, the Share a Coke
Okay.
campaign, I think that was genius. I think it was absolutely genius because you know what? My kids actually would go out to the 7-Eleven, they would go and they would look for specific names on those bottles of Coke because, my 13-year-old, she's in junior high, she's in grade 8. It's an awkward time. There's a couple of kids that kind of get left out. So she would go out when they were at the store and she would find those kids' names so she could share a Coke with them. Coke was absolutely brilliant. It was a perfect example to me of somebody knowing their target market and finding the ultimate way to
Yeah.
engage them. See, Coke has actually had an 11-year decline in sales. For the last 11 years, they've increasingly saw a decrease in their sales. Um, they know that they've got Coke drinkers in, the older age groups, that sort of thing, that have been drinking Coke forever. But what about these
Yeah.
new people coming up that have all these choices, right? So how do you engage them? Well, the number one thing that Coke found is that millennials often say that they feel that they're engaged because they're on social media, they're sharing things but they're not necessarily feeling connected or a part of something. So the best way to engage them is to make them feel that they're a part of something, include them in a community, so to speak. And that's exactly what Coke did with the Share a Coke campaign. And it doesn't surprise me at all. They saw their sales increase incredibly. It completely ended their 11-year decline in sales and actually put them above what they were selling 15 years ago, simply because they told everybody to find a Coke bottle with a name on it
Yeah.
and share it. So that would be my number one marketing absolute amazing, brilliant strategy this year would be the share a Coke campaign. I think they nailed it right on the head with that one.
Yeah. It's now, especially when it comes to engaging with millennials, you will see that a lot of brands are actually paying attention to a lot of social issues and a lot of the human to human element. Like Coke did it really well when it comes to traditional marketing. And I think what Coke also did really well is, like, if you can go online and you can buy the specific names, the cans and bottles. So they pretty much like leveraged it everywhere. So not only people were actually drinking Coke, and they actually created this activity that people were sharing among their friends. They were like showing the selfies with the Coke, right? But because it was so personal, right? And you're right that, like, it was a great example of pretty much like, connecting with your customers at a deeper level, and really turning them into a brand ambassadors too.
They did, they engaged a new generation of Coke drinkers. They established a new generation of Coke drinkers, and at the same time, they turned those Coke drinkers into their marketing tools, because every Coke that got shared was a label, a Coke in somebody's hand that might not have drank it before, or might not have been as big a Coke drinker before the campaign as they might be now. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I loved the Share a Coke thing, and it just had the warm fuzzies, right? And we're very emotional these days. We know these things. You appeal to the emotions, and that campaign had that as well. It had everything it needed.
It's
Okay.
No, it's like I personally think that, like, they leveraged off. There you go, right? Like, I mean, so Mike is saying that, like, there was Coke signs everywhere in gas stations, pharmacies. So they actually leveraged the free media as well. I mean, local news outlets were covering Coke. I know Metro did a story on them, or So if local media, you get so much leverage there, because you are pretty much creating a story out there which they can actually share with their audiences. So you get so much free PR, and each one of those publications are giving you, let's say, 50,000, 75,000 people reach right away.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you're using the technology too, you've got the free app that people can use to engage with. You've got the game, you've got the online stuff. I mean, you could even go and design your own Coke bottle, and have it delivered to your door. I honestly think that I have to give it to Coke. I'm not a Coke drinker, but I have to give it to them. If I wanted a bottle of pop, I'd probably go buy a Coke, right?
Well, there is another
So,
thing which if because I was looking at like their financial reports, they have increased. They have like a lot of like significant amount of the revenue comes from their healthy products, like things like white vitamin
mhm,
water, G2, less calories. So it's also understanding your audience and actually giving them what they want, what's relevant to today's time, right? Maybe let's say Ali,
yeah,
I myself, I don't drink Coke, but I know that I drink vitamin water. So they somehow have my dollars in their pockets, right? But because they have
yeah,
understood my need really well. Um, so I think that
yeah.
they took it a little bit further, and they have been pretty much innovating on like product side and also on the marketing side, trying to like
Mhm.
like share a Coke or the name of Coke, like it was never done before. It was something very new.
No.
So they have been doing a lot of R&D and a lot of innovative stuff for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, and one of the number one things that, like, you and I both, I'm sure will agree on this. The number one thing that I suggest for most people, because no matter what industry you're in, no matter what products or services you provide, there's always another product line or a product line that you can use, that you can establish to back up your current, like, and creating those extra revenue streams. And Coke has done that. They've expanded product lines, and they've made themselves marketable in just about every demographic, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
completely agree with you. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
liked my first choice. So anyway, so I don't know how many you picked. I think I got 3 or 4,
Okay.
but if you've got another one, let's move on to your next top pick of
Okay.
2015.
Okay. So I will say there is actually 2 or 3 big e-commerce brands. I will give you a reference. So Mark and Spence, um, CNN went through it too. The 2 or 3 big brands went through the website redesigns
Mhm.
in last year. Okay. What we found out that like when they went through this big transition of the website redesign, their traffic actually fell, and actually it hurted them, right? Although it could have helped them. So there was another learning, and a lot of blogs actually talked about this, that when you are doing a website redesigns at the major scale, because your website is your home base. In 2016, your website is your home base. This is where the business is done. So you need to make sure that like there's a lot of data testing is done, the from things like heat maps to click data. So overall, when you are making these changes, which are like you're changing your home base pretty much, you should be so good uh, at understanding what your audience needs, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I've got some links in that, obviously,
Mm.
because you can't put up a lot of, I can't post pictures and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is at the end here, I'll go through and copy and paste all of these links that I'm talking about into the comment section. So
Yeah,
everybody out there who's joining us can have a chance to actually look at the videos and stuff that I'm talking about.
do that.
Um,
Yeah.
so my number 2 topic kind of goes back to what you were talking about before with the engagement, knowing your audience, that, and really that's really what it comes down to. I mean, when you're doing your research, you're gathering your analytics information so that you know who your audience is, where to engage them, and how to engage them, so you can build a plan around that, right? So I found this really, really cool thing out of New York. So there is a company called CB2. What they did to try to generate sales for their new condos in New York is they put 5 different condo units onto Pinterest. They engaged Pinterest users and asked them to design the apartments, like the condos. Um, It was hilarious fun. I've gone through, I've looked at some of the Pinterest stuff. People were on Pinterest, literally some of them for like 12 hours, finding products to vote on to try and get into this condo so that they could be part of the winning decoration for whichever condo. They got to vote on the products, everything, like there was a quilt. And honestly, I thought it was like the ugliest quilt, but it was just so plain, and it was white and it had these kind of color block stripes on it. And somehow people voted on it. The gentleman who actually had uploaded it was his quilt, and he really wanted it. He really wanted it to go into this condo. So he got out there and just started telling everybody, hey, vote for my quilt, vote for my quilt. And you know what? It's hanging in one of those condos to this day. So it was a great way. I mean, it was such a great way of engaging, again, that target audience, knowing who you're trying to sell to, those upscale people. I mean, Pinterest is all like design and recipes and stuff, so perfect place. I mean, Pinterest is probably one of the most powerful social media platforms right now, I think, simply because of the visual components with the linking capabilities and everything that you have, and all the cross promotion that you have. And they set up their categories very, very nicely. So if you're looking for marketing, all you have to do is search marketing, and all the thousands of boards that deal with marketing will come right in, and you've got a world of information at your fingertips. Not that that's not how the web works, but this is Pinterest. It's one site, but it'll bring you just about everything. So you just couldn't get any better than taking this powerful social media platform and combining it with interactive activity. So, and the best part is that they got to watch these condos get built and decorated in real time. So for every item that won, every component that won, these people, you could go onto their Pinterest site and you could actually watch it all come together. So now you're also part of an inclusive community that is building something. Like, there's something tangible. You might not be the one living in it. You might not even be standing on the street looking at it, being able to touch the walls, but it's still tangible to you because, hey, I voted for that, and that's sitting on the shelf over there. They actually saw their condo sales increase by 20% because of this Pinterest marketing campaign. And I mean, I don't know the frame of reference that everybody out there that's watching right now has, but 20% increase in sales off of one social media marketing campaign is actually a pretty phenomenal number, especially when you're talking condo sales. Like, these things are, it's not like a $5 water bottle or somebody selling their Lululemon style yoga pants. Like, this was condos, and they in New York City, and they saw a 20% increase in their sales because they engaged users on Pinterest. So I think that was another absolutely phenomenal company, just knowing their target market and getting in there. So, you have anything else to add to that one?
Okay. I will. I will going to talk about a little bit on the fail side of what actually one brand did, which actually ended up in a more like an embarrassment for them. Which ketchup brand do you use, Shannon?
No. I was going to use this one. Isn't it hilarious? Okay, go, Ali. Go. Tell them.
Go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
Go ahead. You can tell the people. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So Heinz ketchup, yeah. So Heinz ketchup, which is pretty much the biggest home a ketchup known brand. Yeah. Pretty much, they have the biggest market share. They had this interesting thing that they ran a campaign, and in that campaign, a lot of their offline communication and even their online communication had a QR code. And a lot of brands use it, that they have the QR codes on the products, so it can take people to specific pages. Now, so the campaign went live, everything was good, and I'm sure it was working. It was working because a lot of people said that the QR code was taking them to X-rated or
A porn site.
porn
Yeah.
website, a porn site. Now, guess what? That if you have 100,000 ketchup bottles on Walmart shelves and the kids are picking it
Oh,
up,
it's
and the
terrible.
QR code is taking it. A terrible marketing mistake because now it happened because the everything was done right from the strategy side. Well, it was a good strategy to take people on a specific landing page, but whenever you put out a message, always make sure that you double and triple check your communication, go through it, make sure it makes sense. There should be multiple people going through that process so you don't make that mistake at that
Yeah.
big level.
Oh, exactly. Some people are saying that it was
Yeah.
after the contest, and so
Yeah.
what had happened is Heinz let the URL go because they figured they didn't need it anymore. They didn't figure.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did some more digging on it. So but it's still a lesson, because here's the thing: if you're gonna run a campaign like that, it was a great campaign. They got people. Somebody won the contest.
Yeah.
Yay! Everybody's happy, right? But the thing is,
Yeah.
as long as you still have bottles of product on the shelves with that QR code on it, you should not just be letting go of that URL. You should be redirecting that URL to go to another website, or putting a landing page saying, sorry, contest is closed, but thanks for playing, or whatever, and waiting till you know that there's a reasonable amount of time that that product is no longer available and nobody's going to have access to those QR codes anymore. Because apparently what they did is, as soon as the contest was done, they threw out the URL. And then some porn company picked it up. So now everybody's going in, they're buying bottles of ketchup, and they're not necessarily reading, that the contest is already closed, and they're scanning QR codes and getting X-rated pictures up. Yeah. I'm sorry, and if it were one of my kids, I would be so absolutely mortified, but it's such a funny story.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a big, huge company like that. They should, like what's it cost to secure a URL for one more year? Like, really? Make
Yeah.
sure you've got things covered. Make sure you've got an exit plan as well as an entrance plan, people, because honestly,
Entry plan,
it
yeah.
cost them so much embarrassment, so much.
So
I
much.
mean, it hit,
So much
of course,
money,
it
yeah.
hit Twitter. Where else is it going to go, right? The first guy, I think, that scanned that code and got the porn site up. Yeah, I mean, the first thing he did was go to Twitter and start talking about, how the fringe benefits of using Heinz ketchup. So yeah, no, definitely make sure you know what's going to happen after the campaign, as well as what's happening before and during the campaign.
Before the campaign.
So yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, no, we were both on the same page with that one, Ali. That was definitely on the fail list.
That was an interesting one for sure.
I got a couple more that's funny. But first,
Yeah.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to get a little bit more serious, because one of my pluses, and this is on the side of technology, and I absolutely love this. I don't know if you've seen these interactive billboards, but there was a billboard, and I'm not exactly sure where it was. I'd have to look it up again. But this is a great example of, creating experiences with your audience to create that, to elicit that emotional response, to get them to connect with what your message is. In this case, there was no product, there was no nothing. It was strictly a message, and it was done so well. It's an organization that works with women that are victims of domestic abuse. There's a whole bunch of comments on the YouTube video and everything like that about, oh, it's sexist because men get beaten up too. Yeah, we get that, but that's not what this organization is about. So this organization specifically sees to the needs of women that are victims. What they did is they created this interactive billboard. So through a scanning technology, and there's actually a company right here in Edmonton that has this technology built into their little billboards and stuff like that get posted in elevators and stuff. They created this big billboard that could scan the viewers, and the longer the view, I think we just lost you, Ali. I can't see you. The longer that the viewers actually looked at the billboard, the more signs of abuse appeared. So this billboard could actually scan people and actually see, and judge how long they'd been looking. And based on the amount of time they had been looking in the direction of the billboard, it progressed in the signs of the domestic abuse on the woman that was on the billboard. And of course, then it had a very powerful message about ending domestic abuse and that sort of thing. Now, apparently Coke also used this type of interactive technology on a billboard. I didn't look into that any further. I just thought that this is absolutely amazing just in the application of it. As I said, I know a company here in Edmonton that uses this technology, but basically for analytics gathering. So when you're standing in an elevator, if you're looking at the little billboard sign that's in the elevator, it can give information to the people that are paying for those advertisements as to, if men or women are more attracted to their ad, how long they're looking at the ad, and just very basic stuff. But this billboard actually interacted with their audience by producing more information the longer they looked, and just keeping them engaged. And I think that was an absolutely brilliant use of that technology. Is Ali coming back in? Okay, I guess we'll just wait for him. So he might not have anything to say about this. Anyway, if you do have any questions, you know what? And the other thing is too, if you saw something that you really, really liked or really, really didn't like during 2015, post up a link for everybody, or just pop me a message here so that I can share it with everybody, and maybe we can look into a little bit more and see what's going on, and if there's something there that we can use. So there you are again. Yay. So I don't know, did you hear anything that I just said?
Yes, I was able to hear you, but somehow, you guys cannot see me.
Oh, weird. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So this is a really, I think it's really cool, the applications behind this technology, that, it's actually interacting. Like if you first look at the billboard, it's just the face of a woman. And then you look for a couple more seconds and she starts to develop a black eye kind of thing. And then you look for a little bit more and more signs. So it actually is like, okay, oh, you're interested. Okay. So you want to hear our message. So we're going to give you a little bit more information until we get to that message, and it keeps them engaged. And I think there's some amazing applications for that. Mind you, as small business owners and that sort of thing, it's going to be a little while before it's affordable, but it's got some great technology behind it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what it generates in the new year with some of the bigger companies and how they choose to apply it to their marketing campaigns. Because they're going.
Oh, they will absolutely be doing it, and a lot of new billboards, like a Patterson and like bigger companies, they are pretty much working on this technology, these kind of technologies that when you go to the bars, there are so like the physical advertising has to evolve in order to survive and thrive. And this kind of technology, which is tracking the eyes, which is pretty much engaging the people on one-on-one level, above and beyond just a poster. Yes, definitely. I think that we will see it growing. And personally, I think that within few years, pretty fast, within next 12 to 18 months, this will be accessible by small businesses too, because the way technology have been growing fast, and the way it's becoming accessible for an average Joe out there.
Yeah, well, it's just like when I was looking through this stuff, I found this really cool company called HoloCube, and they can actually take take your logo or whatever like that, and they holographically project it in these little cubes, right? And I'm going, well, I do events as well, right? I'm going, how cool is that? Like, I thought the the not the QR, but the FCN or whatever technology that this where you walk past, if you've got it turned on your phone, it scans all the information. I'm trying to remember I think it's FCN, isn't it? Or FNC. Anyway. Anyway, but I thought that that was really cool because you could embed that stuff into like backdrops and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
honestly, if you've got it turned on your phone, you walk past that backdrop and all that information that's in that little chip automatically goes onto your phone, right? Into your
Hmm.
phone. Um, I thought that was cool, but I mean, like, I could not imagine the capability, like, just the experience of walking into an event and all of your event sponsors are in hollow cubes, like,
Hmm.
are holographically being projected down the
Hmm.
walkway into the event. Like, it's
Hmm.
so the idea of it is so cool to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going
Yeah.
to be coming. That's going to be coming soon too. You bet. There's no question about that. I did have
Yeah.
one more hit, but you know what? I'll just post up the link. It was that Johnny Walker commercial. I think we've all seen it with the two brothers and they're anyway, I'll post the link. You can look
Yeah.
at it. It's a very emotionally
Yes.
charged thing. But I see we've only got about 20 minutes left because I always promise you only an hour of your time. So let's get into some of the fails because I love the fails. They're so funny. I'm going to lead because we were talking about how good Coke hit the mark, right? Um, a lot of people don't know that at the parent, like the very head of the Coca-Cola Corporation and the Pepsi-Cola Corporation is the same owner. The same family owns both companies. So it's amazing to me that they, I know, right? So it's amazing to me that they could be so on the spot with the Coke campaign and suck so bad with the Pepsi campaign. I don't know if they, I mean, honestly, I don't know if anybody's seen these Pepsi emoji. Okay, now apparently you can hashtag this, you can go to an app, you can. Now, this is Pepsi's idea of engaging the millennials. I asked my millennials, as I said, I have some living in my home. They didn't give a poop about this. They didn't understand it. They thought the emojis were cute, and that's pretty much the extent of what it went. The worst part of it all is too is that the whole Pepsi emoji campaign has absolutely nothing to do with even beverages. Like it's not even got anything to do with drinks. It's got nothing to do with Pepsi itself. It's all around sports stuff and everybody is so absolutely confused as to what their intention was with this Pepsi emoji thing that let's just say that they did not see the increase in sales that Coke did over the Christmas season. So that's my number one big fail. And it's all because, and again, I'm just absolutely flabbergasted too by the fact that Pepsi and Coke are essentially the same company, and yet Share a Coke is so amazing as a campaign, and Pepsi emoji sucks so bad. So, how about you, Ali? What did you feel about the Pepsi emoji?
Yeah. It's like I am 100% sure that there are probably different creative agencies involved in both of these projects. So seems like one idea was a success and one idea was pretty
Yeah,
much like a fail. It's very interesting when you talk about this because Pepsi has a bigger market share in
yes.
the snack market, like Lay's chips and all that. So they apparently do a really good job when it comes to their snacks, but
Well, you can't eat just
apparently,
one, right?
like they are unable to do exactly right.
Yeah.
Another thing is like Pepsi, we have found out that like a lot of Coke and Pepsi, they actually own different geographic areas, and that's where they actually like they have a dominant presence in. So if you go to certain countries, let's say you go to Mexico, there's like a particular brand is more famous than the other. In Canada, Coke is
Mexico
more
Coke
famous
is so
than the
good though.
Pepsi. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting that how
Oh, we're losing
like,
you again,
there
Ali.
you go, right? So it's very interesting the way like in different countries, like how in different countries, it's like like either it's loved or either it's not hated, but it's on the second, right,
Yeah.
after Coke, yeah.
Well, I just feel like to me when I saw the Pepsi emoji
But
thing and started,
like building up on that, what I actually wanted to talk about
yep,
was an online fail.
Okay, we're starting to lose you again, Ali.
No, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna message him.
Yeah.
Your Ali. Your, oh my goodness, now I can't type. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Well, I can still see you on the screen, but it's like you're talking.
Oh, I am breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not good.
So you're talking a little bit, and then, but your lips aren't moving. You're like Bruce Lee. There you go. Okay. So hopefully this evens off in a second here. I'm gonna.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you again. Okay, I was just gonna say with the Pepsi emoji thing, I just really felt like it was kind of there.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Yeah, I could just hear you, but your lips weren't moving at the same time. That's okay. We're used to the old flicks. We can do this. If I cut you off, I'm sorry. It's just because your lips aren't moving, so I don't know you're talking. Anyway, I was gonna say Pepsi emoji was like almost like it was their attempt at countering Coke's initiative with the millennials, but it was like the absolute wrong way to do it, whereas Coke's was the absolute right way to do it. So that's what I've got there. Now I'm just going to wait 5 seconds and see if there's anything you want to say. No?
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's a great example, and it talks about that if you don't know your audience really well, you'll keep making the same mistake again and again.
But you're right. You can't eat just one Lay's chip. They're great with the potato chips and that. No matter what, none of it's good for you anyway. So. Now, I have a couple more pictures of things that I'd love to share with you. Lexus. Okay, so when you think of Lexus, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You know, luxury cars, all that exclusive.
Luxury.
Yeah, you know, the luxury thing, right? So they did a marketing campaign in Lithuania. So this is what, see if I can fit it in there. This is what the marketing campaign looked like. And of course, we can't understand it unless anybody out there can speak Lithuanian or whatever it is that their language is called. Anyway, now, apparently, this is a good example of making sure that you have adequate translators in your company. If you are going to do sales and marketing and that in another country that speaks a language that you're not necessarily that, you know, privy to, make sure you have a good and trustworthy translator that can help make sure that your message doesn't wind up being nothing but a curse word. So apparently, in Lithuania, the NX is actually the F word. Now, Lexus didn't know this. So they launched their campaign. So to us, it would just look like this. But to the Lithuanians, it looked like this. And Lexus was completely embarrassed by it, were called to task over it, and it was an absolute marketing fail. Again, I cannot stress enough to make sure that you've got the right people in place, that you're doing your testing, and that you are looking at things from every possible vantage point to make sure that your message isn't being corrupted and that you're actually putting out the image and that you want people to see. Because I'm pretty sure that Lexus didn't want to be associated with that word at all in any country. But unfortunately, it was in publications, it was on TV, it was everywhere when they launched it. So I don't know. I know so many European people, they can like speak automatically. It seems like they come out of the womb speaking 3 or 4 languages. That's not me. I speak one language and choice words out of a few others, but um, I've traveled to Germany. I made sure I had somebody with me that knows how to speak German. Most of the people there can speak English, but when they can't, I mean, Schloss and Tschüss is not going to get you very far. So that's my two words in German. Well, except for Volkswagen and Verfügungen, which apparently we pronounce wrong, even though it's right from the commercial. Make sure you got the right people in place. Make sure you're doing your testing. Make sure you can trust the people that are working for you to make sure that your message is solid and clear and your brand is not going to be damaged. One more thing that I've got, and then we can just wrap it up and talk about whatever else we want for the last 5 or 7 minutes or whatever. So this is in Costa Rica. Now, I've been looking at properties in Costa Rica. I would love to live in Costa Rica. I don't know about you, but I'm all for, nice even climate and tropical rainforest and all this stuff. So this is why I'm working as hard as I am right now. I want some Costa Rica paradise. So in Costa Rica, there was now this is actually for the beer. So I don't know how good you can see that. Again, I'll post all these links in the comments after. So, from the front, it looks perfectly fine, right? Like we've got our, what doesn't go good with a beer? You got your big sausage, you got your brand recognition up in the corner over here. The only problem is, again, like I said, look at it from every angle, because apparently they were only concerned with what it looked like from this viewpoint. Now, all the other drivers that were coming at the sign were seeing this. Needless to say, the company it's Costa Rica, and they're pretty liberal and pretty open-minded, but the billboard had to come down. So, because only the people that were coming at the sign saw this. Everybody else saw this. Nobody even thought about the fact of what it's going to be like on that 180 view, right? And Pilsner's not a small, again, another big company making a big mistake, right? So, yeah. So that's what I have to share. Did you have, outside of, I don't know if anybody else tried the, remember the Amazon Prime Day last year? It was going to be better than Black Friday. That was a really good one. I'll post the link to that one too. There was some really funny tweets came out of that one. Apparently some of the biggest deals that you could get, just this is right on the front page of the link that I'll give you. Let me see. An extra long shoehorn, an airplane seatbelt extender, dishwasher detergent, and 55 gallons of water-based lubricant called Passion were all on the taking list. And people had stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever to cash in on these deals. And all it did was wound up generating a ton of really funny tweets. Now, I don't know if Ali is gone for good, because I don't even see him up on my bar here, but it is 2 o'clock. I told him 2 o'clock we were out. So I will post up our Facebook and everything like that. Please feel free to follow us. If you have any more questions, want to share any more fun stories with us, just feel free to find us up on Twitter or through all of our other links. I'll post these links here as soon as I close this off, so you guys can go through and look at some of this fun stuff. And and yeah, thank you all for joining us again. Next one is going to be January 6th, so please keep watching for it and join us again, because we would love to have you back. Without you guys, we don't have a show. Thanks a lot. See you later.